Another new reality TV show for a horrible person that no one likes. Alec Baldwin just premiered the first episodes of his new TLC show, The Baldwins, which focuses on his day-to-day family life. And instead of just some lighter fare, they decided to focus the first 2 episodes on the trauma that he suffered as a result of the Rust shooting. By the way, he pulled the trigger, but he is instead making this about himself.
Yep.
How he is actually the most affected by a bullet flying through someone else and killing them. So now that the show is out, it's not being received well, and Gloria Allred, the lawyer which represents Helena Hutchins' family, has made a statement in response to the show, saying, it is long overdue for Alec Baldwin to admit and face the real-life consequences that he caused Helena's parents and sister. It is time for him to face reality under oath. Why is he claiming that he has PTSD? Is his reality show just a veiled attempt to create sympathy for himself with a future jury pool in our civil case?
Okay,
Is this just a shameless attempt to portray him as the real victim in this case?
I can believe that a truly feeling person can experience extreme remorse for doing something like what happened with Alec Baldwin. Do I believe that that is the case here? No. And do I believe that that is a smart choice for a storyline for a TV show which is trivializing all of what happened? Absolutely not.
Yeah, I mean, didn't he even say on camera that he didn't feel remorse for it?
Wasn't it like that, like, I didn't do it, so I don't have any remorse?
Right.
Because he's like, the gun just went off.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Because guns just do that magically. People in Hollywood believe that at
They
least.
do. They believe that, like, somehow, like, they were struggling and the gun just went off.
Whoa, what crazy, right? The statement from Gloria Allred also notes that Alec Baldwin never called or tried to contact Helena Hutchins' parents or sister to say that he was sorry. And to this day, he has never taken responsibility for Helena's death.
Okay, so I guarantee you that as soon as this happened, the first thing he did was call a lawyer. And the first thing that lawyer said was, you cannot say you're sorry.
Yeah, it's like when you get into a fender bender.
You do not say, oh.
You do not say sorry. You ask the person if they were okay. You exchange insurance information. Yeah. Alec Baldwin just took that sentiment to a whole new level.
He did. I believe he had a meeting with her husband, like, right after.
Yes, they did. But has not made any effort to contact her family members other than her husband since then. But yeah, this is a major plot point that they've kind of scripted into the TLC show. Alec is seen in one of these episodes saying, "This has just been surreal. I mean, I can't even believe that we're going through this." Even that you're framing it that way, like, I'm going through something. "And I always feel more in pain about you than me," referring to his wife, "because I think to myself, you know, I'm going to try my best to just get through it. And I think what it's done to you and how much it's hurt you and everything. This past year was just terrible. There were times I'd lay in bed, I'd go, wow, my kids, I can't get up. That's not like me. I'm not like that at all. Not in any way am I like that. Never." And then he's talking to his fitness instructor during the show, who then told the cameras that the shift in Alec Baldwin's mood became apparent after he was charged with involuntary manslaughter. He got off on that charge, but he's still possibly going to be found liable in a civil case from Helena's family for the negligence among safety protocols on set.
And the thing here is, like, prop master told him there was blanks in the gun. He claims that he didn't even pull the trigger, but as the producer on the film, it is up to him to make sure that all protocols are met and standards are reached.
The buck stops with you.
The buck stops with you, right? So even if 100% of what he's saying is true, even if he feels all of this guilt, that doesn't mean you make content out of it.
No, but this was just opportunistic, right?
Yes.
This is him trying to rewrite the story about himself and his family in the media. And it's accomplishing the exact opposite of that. And I'm sure TLC is just maniacally laughing about it.
Oh, yeah.
The scenes.
They benefit
This is
more
perfect
than anyone.
for them. Now, Alec Baldwin's wife, his Spanish flame, Ilaria, had a lot to say about how much he's gone through since the Rust shooting, and it's very sad. She says, "Everyone who is close to Alec has seen his mental health decline." No, I'm going to say it in a normal voice. "He was diagnosed with PTSD, and he says in his darkest moments, if an accident had to have happened this day, why am I still here? Why couldn't it have been me?" Yep. You wake up in the morning and you're like, why did I wake up? She went on to tell Alec, who recalled not knowing how to answer a friend who asked how he was doing. He said to his friend, "I'm happier when I'm asleep than when I'm awake." Ilaria also says in the show, "I found these text messages the other day between us from the day after the shooting." And she says that Alec Baldwin claimed he wanted to kill himself. This is sort of like when Chris Cuomo got fired. He said that he wanted to commit murder-suicide.
Yeah.
And then he said that it's just because he's Italian and passionate.
You don't understand.
You wouldn't understand if you're not Italian. Sometimes you just feel like murder-suicide.
He says, "I'm not a pervert, I'm just Italian."
Yeah, exactly. Ilaria says in one of these confessional interviews that Alec has survivor's guilt. You're involved in this thing that nobody could even possibly imagine. And so it goes back to that day. He wishes it were him. He would trade places with Helena Hutchins in a second, claims Ilaria.
Survivor's guilt is a very real thing. Compassion and guilt are very, very real things. Nothing in the way this case is handled or his behavior in general throughout his career has ever indicated to me that he's a person like that. But again, that's just my opinion from the sidelines.
She continued, "This has affected his health and his mental health tremendously."
I feel like if it did, you wouldn't turn it into content. I feel like if it was affecting your mental health and it was actually harming you, you would not turn it into something that you had to also add the pressure of using it for material in a show. You would focus on doing it and getting better.
Right.
Right?
The past few years, all of a sudden, he has started having heart problems. He has been hospitalized multiple times. Ilaria also revealed that Alec has fainted since the Rust shooting. He's having fainting spells. They need to get smelling salts for him.
Maybe he's just old.
He has servants that deliver a fainting couch to him every time that he's about to pass out. We have a 20 from Jose Quintana. "A good Lent to you, Ghost Empress, Optical Overlord. I want to see Daredevil Born Again, but don't want to put money in Disney's coffers. I am pulled by unseen forces. Empress, you should annex Gongo and declare supremacy. Long live PCC."
I will say that nothing about Daredevil Born Again is worth spending the money. Like, I would tell you, like, if it was something that was like, I actually believe that the shows that I watch, if you like the procedurals like I do, like if you like classic Hollywood procedurals, I think High Potential is worth the subscription to Hulu, at least for a month to check it out. If that's your type of show. If you like superhero shows and you love Daredevil seasons 1 through 3, this show is not worth the Disney Plus subscription to get.
What is on Disney Plus anyway?
I mean, there's a lot of stuff on Disney Plus. I don't use it. We don't use it very much. Like
anything that you can watch on Disney Plus is also available on Tubi. So.
I mean, the Marvel stuff isn't. And that's what I'm assuming a lot of people.
No, I'm telling you. I've checked.
Tubi.
I've checked. It's available on Tubi. Now, Alec Baldwin maintains to this day that he did not pull the trigger and he was completely unaware that the gun was loaded with a live bullet. But he is now being deposed for questioning in the civil lawsuit launched by Helena Hutchins' family. That was launched back in February of 2023, before he was acquitted of involuntary manslaughter. But they still at least want to find him civilly liable for his negligence of safety protocols on set. And that's why Gloria Allred has made these public statements.
Like, not even the capacity of him as the actor holding the gun where the buck stops with you as the one with the firearm in your hand, but as the one who produced this movie, created the poor power structure that allowed such an inexperienced Nepo hire for armorer to end up on set and puts you in such a dangerous position to begin with. Again, what's her name? Hannah Gutierrez-Reed is being punished, is in jail. You need to be held responsible for creating such a poor environment at work.
It's absolutely ridiculous
to happen.
Isn't she still serving time currently? Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous that the armorer, the Nepo armorer, is facing consequences for this, but the person who actually fired the gun isn't. Like, this is why people think that our justice system is a joke and that there's a double standard.
I mean, I'm guessing that the logic from the average person...
The judge was, like, talking about how, like, we're not going to give special treatment to celebrities.
I'm guessing the average person is supposed to believe that, like, as the actor, it's not his job to know about firearms. It's the armorer's job to know about firearms and check before giving it to him. But
it's
again,
even weird the way it all happens.
But again, that's like anybody knows that you don't joke around about firearms.
No.
You treat every firearm as if it's loaded. You double check, and nobody did that.
It's even weirder to think about the fact that this didn't occur during filming.
Yeah,
it was off set, or it was on set, but it was not during the filming of a scene in the movie. He was jokingly pointing it at her. Why would that even happen in the first place? We knew from sources that worked on the movie that they didn't get along and had a tense relationship to begin with. So, I don't know, knowing what we know about that situation, as well as Alec Baldwin's reputation for being a heartless scumbag, even to his own children, and having anger issues... I personally think it's plausible that it was not just involuntary manslaughter, that it was first degree. That's my opinion.
Yeah. Antonia's block is correct. They're not supposed to point real guns directly at actors. Yeah, they use what's called a non-gun in Hollywood for shots. Like if you ever see a scene where somebody points a gun at somebody and they're really close up next to their face, that's not a real weapon. It's usually either a functional non-gun or it's a rubber gun.
Right.
Doing those. So just no.
I don't know what, like I think that everyone who's familiar with firearms knows you're not supposed to jokingly point it at someone.
No.
Like that's basic, like that's below 101 gun etiquette. I don't know.
It's the thing, like again, my biggest issue is that you can't cry about the emotional toll it's taken on you and then turn it into content.
Literally enriching yourself off of someone else's misfortune.
Yep.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.